One day, this kid bought a bunch of clear iPhone cases for cheap, and he had this friend who was good with graphic design. So what he would do is he would have his friend make this cool design of whatever he wanted. His friend would then print it and cut it down so it would fit perfectly inside this phone case. And it looked awesome. Clear phone case, this graphic design insert, it was legit. Custom fit, looked expensive. He did it to his phone case first. It was an anime design and it looked awesome. People saw this and they were immediately intrigued. Well, interest grew. And soon, he was taking orders for people. NBA, anime, SpongeBob, Shrek. He was making these custom phone cases and selling them. Then he starts bundling them together. 3 phone cases for $10. 6 for $15. And business was absolutely booming. He kept buying these clear phone cases. His friend kept designing these designs and custom cutting them to fit the cases. And people were buying them. They were all over the school. The thing was, his friend that was designing these and printing them was using the school's printers. The IT guy realized how much printing had been done and he told the principal. And this whole thing had to be shut down. But by then he had made $530. And those phone cases became collectibles. Some students even reselling them for 3 times the price they bought them for. Honestly, you gotta respect the hustle.
Yo, this teacher messed up. So it started a week earlier when the fire alarm glitched and it began going off every 30 minutes. People took it seriously at first, but when they realized it was a glitch, everybody got super annoyed. This has got to stop. And it was happening on and off for 3 days. So a week later, it eventually stops for a bit. And then a week later, it happens in Mr. Halverson's math class. But he is so fed up and traumatized from the previous week that he just keeps teaching over the alarm. Here we go again. E equals MC what? MC squared. A few students are confused and they stand up. But he's like, sit down, this is fake, we are not doing this again. And the whole class just sat there, staring, listening to the piercing sound of the alarm while being taught math by their unhinged teacher. Then, the door slams open. A firefighter storms in, full gear, smoke behind him, and he looks furious. What are you doing? Get out! The building's on fire! Everyone scrambles, backpacks are flying, the building is actually on fire, and Mr. Halverson is just standing there like, oh, no. So yeah, Mr. Halverson, during an actual fire, forced 27 students to stay in his classroom. Yeah, he definitely messed up.
One day, randomly, this kid told his teacher, "My grandma died." Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, that night, the teacher emails the mom. "I just wanted to say, I'm thinking of your family. Deborah was such a good woman. May she rest in peace." The mom reads it, and she freezes. Wait, what? Her mother-in-law wasn't dead. She was literally at bingo that night. A few minutes later, a different mom from school calls her. We're all gonna miss her so much. She was such an incredible woman. No, I'm sorry, there must be some sort of confusion. She's not dead. By the end of the night, half of the neighborhood is sending their condolences. Everyone thinks Grandma's gone. This one family even dropped off a casserole. She then confronts her kid. Hi, did you tell everyone that Grandma died?" "Yes." "Why?" "I don't actually know." The mom then calls her mother-in-law to warn her about this entire situation. "Oh, hi, sweetie. B27. Crap. Hey, Deb, so apparently you died today?" "Oh, well, no one told me. That's good to know." G26. Bingo! It's this kid's birth. Normally, his friend group always does something for him at school. Balloons, lunch table celebration, something every year. This year they plan a prank. When Steven comes in today, let's not say a word. We're gonna act like we forgot it's his birthday. Oh yeah. Then at the end of the day, we're gonna surprise him with this cupcake. Everyone agrees. They put the cupcake in this dude's locker, saving it for the end of the day. The birthday kid walks in, smiling. He sees his friends. "Hey, what's up, guys?" "Oh, hey, what's up, Steven? Anyway, I'm gonna head to class." "Yeah, me too. All right, see you later, Steven." What? Then lunch comes around. He sits down, and nothing. Did anyone remember what day it is today?" "Yeah, bro. It's Thursday." By last period, he looks crushed. He thinks everyone forgot it was his birthday. The bell rings, and everyone goes home. But here's the problem. The friend group forgot that they were playing a prank and ended up not surprising him, and therefore they forgot it was his birthday altogether. The giant cupcake they bought is still sitting in this dude's locker. Birthday kid goes home super upset. The next morning, the kid goes to his locker. Oh, crap. And that's when he realized he messed up. Every year during the week of Halloween, there was costume day. On that day, kids went all out. Witches, zombies, villains, fake blood, the whole 9 yards. Well, on this particular year, there was a new principal. Fully buttoned up shirt, by the book, he never smiled. Attention students, this year, there will be no violent costumes on costume day. That means no witches, no monsters, no villains, so pretty much no Halloween. Just get creative, guys, you'll still have fun. Everybody was mad, but one kid spread this genius idea around the school, and pretty much everything went along with it. So Friday came. It was costume day, and almost every single kid walks into school that day wearing the exact same costume. Khakis, blue button-up shirt, weird wig, glasses, and a name tag that said Principal Hawthorne. Principal Hawthorne is standing in the hallway watching hundreds of mini-me's walk by him. What is going on? This is disrespectful. This costume is not allowed. No, it's allowed. It's not violent, isn't it? Your rule backfired. I hate my life. The lunch lady from hell. This lunch lady was your classic grumpy old woman. Hairnet, gloves, stained apron, and she seemed to hate children. I hate children. She never smiled. She was always in a horrible mood. Well, one day this kid in the lunch line says something to her that makes her flip out. Next, is this meat even real? The whole lunch line starts laughing at her. And then another kid goes, yeah, is it even real? Also, you're the worst lunch lady ever. Even Mrs. Johnson's rabbits hate you. Now, a little sidebar here. Mrs. Johnson was the art teacher, and she had a cage of like 4 rabbits. They would sit outside her door in the hallway. And the school loved these rabbits. These rabbits were cherished. They were lovely little rabbits. Well, the lunch lady didn't like hearing this. Quit laughing at me. This is funny to you. You're gonna regret this. Oh, you're gonna regret this. So lunch ends, and later that day, this teacher was walking the hallways when she notices the lunch lady standing by the rabbit cage. Scrap-a-dink-a-dee. What is she doing? She's wearing her rubber gloves. She has a strange bag, and she's putting the rabbits in this bag. 1 rabbit, 2 rabbits, 3 rabbits, 4. Now I'm gonna throw you all on the floor. Okay, she didn't make that little rhyme, but still, she was putting these rabbits in a bag, and she was gonna do something horrible with them. Well, the teacher said, hey, put those down. Security, the lunch lady's taking the rabbits. Security shows up, takes these rabbits, and puts them back in the cage. They then drag her to the office, and they send her home forever. After that day, the rabbits stayed inside Mrs. Johnson's classroom for safety. I wonder what she was gonna do to the rabbits. That's insane. Here's what happens when you sell fake hall passes for 2 weeks at school. This kid Tyler was running an entire business. He'd been selling hall passes for basically anybody that wanted to skip class. $5 a pop. The passes, they looked legit as well. Official watermark, teacher signatures, the whole deal. Everyone thought he had some kind of connection to the front office, and he wouldn't sell too many at one time because he didn't want the school to get suspicious, so it was a limited supply he would sell per month. Well, this quiet girl named Maya, hi, I'm Maya. She'd been watching this whole thing go down for weeks. She never said anything, she just observed. Well, one day, she sees Tyler drop one of the passes on the ground. So she picks it up, looks at it for a second, and then puts it in her pocket. Now, she wasn't gonna say anything about it. She's like, this is none of my business, let him do what he's doing. Well, the next day, Tyler tries to sell her a hall pass. No thanks, I'm okay. But then Tyler starts clowning her in front of the whole class. You're such a teacher's pet. Are you too scared to get one of these? Well, here's what Tyler didn't know. Maya's mom literally works for the school office, and she's the one that designs all official school documents. So Maya knows exactly what a real hall pass looks like, down to the specific font and paper stock. Now, like I said, she wasn't gonna snitch on it, but now she is. She takes the hall pass that she found, goes to the principal, and breaks down everything wrong with it. The font is off, the signature's been traced, and this is the wrong paper. This is basic paper from Staples. Principal takes a few days to investigate, pulls up some security footage, and catches Tyler selling these hall passes multiple times. Tyler got a 2-week suspension, and Maya didn't say a word about it to anybody. Nobody knew she snitched. She just went right back to being quiet. That's why you gotta be careful who you disrespect. Somebody might ruin you. It's 11:30 p.m. Jacob gets home from his friend's house when he realizes he forgot his house key. Oh crap. Both parents are asleep. Front door locked, back door locked. He doesn't want to wake them, so he does what he thinks is smart. He walks around the side of the house and looks up. He sees his bedroom window, and he knows his window is unlocked. So he grabs the gutter, and he prays it doesn't break. And he starts climbing. Little does he know, the neighbor has been watching him this entire time, and she called the police because she thought someone was breaking into this house. Someone's breaking into my neighbor's house. Help! So as he's about halfway up, he hears, "Freeze! Get down!" What? No. I live here. Likely story. The cop then throws something at him, and he falls down hard onto the ground. All this ruckus has then woken this kid's parents, and they come outside, half asleep. Whoa, what's going on? That's my dad. I live here. Sir, do you know this kid? And the dad, he says, never seen him before in my life. What? The police then take this kid cuffed and put him in the car. They're about to bring him to the station. Then the mom comes out. What? No, that is our son. Yeah, he's ours. I was trying to scare him. They uncuff him. This kid's covered in dirt. He's obviously shaken up. And the dad says, bet you won't forget your keys again, huh? You are insane. That's kind of awesome.
Have a good day, sweetie. Don't miss the bus. I won't. He waves, he shuts the door, he walks down the street, and he pulls out his phone and he calls the school. Hi, this is Mr. Thompson. My son's gonna be sick today. Johnny Thompson? Okay, sorry to hear that. I'll mark him down as absent. Have a great day. He then walks to the local store, buys a bunch of candy, and he hangs out at the park. Meanwhile, his mom and his dad had just finished a morning appointment. Hey, since we're both off work today, let's go surprise Johnny with some lunch. That's a great idea. We'll get him some Wendy's and we'll drop it off at the office. We'll have him come down and say hi. Perfect. They get the Wendy's, they pull into the school parking lot, and they walk into the front office with a brown Wendy's bag and a Frosty. Great parents. Hi, we're here to drop this off for Johnny, our son, Johnny Thompson. Johnny's not here today. What? Oh yeah, Mr. Thompson called in this morning. He's sick. I'm Mr. Thompson. No, I did not, and no, he is not. Oh, boy. Now cut to Johnny, their kid, in the park, playing phones on his game and eating candy like he's a freaking king. His mom calls him. He doesn't even think at first. Hey, Mom, what? I know what you did. No, man. He then goes home. His parents come home with the cold Wendy's and the melted Frosty. Johnny was grounded, but they still let him eat the Wendy's. It happens.
This bully got a dose of karma. Right by the front entrance of this middle school, there was this carpet, and everybody had to walk across it as they were entering the school. But this one kid made it his personal game. Every morning when this one kid would enter, he would slide the carpet out of the way and pour his water bottle down. He's coming. Watch this. It was the same target every single day. This one curly-headed kid named Jerry. I'm Jerry. And this kid just took it. He accepted his fate. He always fell for it. He slipped and fell every single morning. But one morning, the plan backfired. A school security guard was walking through the doors right behind Jerry. And the bully does it. Jerry slips, but so does the security guard. Thud. He fell down right in front of everyone. Oh no, you! That was on purpose. No. You're coming with me. The bully then got suspended, and when he came back, he never did it again. And Jerry was finally free. Isn't that nice? It's the first week of school, and this kid's rocking some brand new expensive Nikes. Hey yo, peep the kicks. Ooh, those are clean, bro. Yeah, they remind me of my mom. Then in the middle of class, the fire alarm goes off. Oh, all right. And everyone crams into the hallway. Excuse me. Well, as he's making his way out, a student behind him steps on his right shoe, and his shoe comes off. Yo, wait, my shoe! Keep it moving. He gets outside, and he's standing there with only one shoe on. Every grade is lined up. He's begging him to go back in. No, you don't understand. My other shoe is inside, and those were expensive. Are you nuts? No, forget it. Eventually, they're all let back inside, and he's looking everywhere. He can't find his shoe. It's like it's just gone. And at lunch, he's sitting there, and here's where it gets interesting. I guess some kid saw that the shoe had fallen off and took it, put it in his backpack. You see, they took a picture of the shoe, put it on a document, and typed, "If you ever want to see your shoe again, it's $45. And as he's sitting at lunch, someone in a hoodie slips him this note. Man. Now it's a full-blown shoe hostage situation. There was a random email on the flyer, and he emailed it. The kidnapper set up a spot, told him to drop the money, and they would drop the shoe. And he paid the $45. But hey, he got his shoe back. That's actually crazy. These two sisters begged for a dog. Please, Dad. The dad would always say, "You girls are not responsible enough." Well, years go by, and after years of pleading, the dad finally caves in a little bit. He compromised and brought home a pot-belly pig. Oh my god, a piggy! They named her Sonic because she would sprint around the house like lightning. And for a while, Sonic was family. She would nap underneath the dining room table, roll over for belly rubs. She would even let the family rest their feet on her like she was a footrest. Well, Sonic didn't stay small. Within months, she grew into a 4-foot pig that lived in the patio. Well, then came the house renovations that were supposed to be done. The dad said the workers were going to be there all the time and there was nowhere for Sonic to stay. She's got to go somewhere. She can't stay here. Well, honey, we have to figure this out. We can't just let her go. They begged. The mom looked around and she found a country club that was willing to house her temporarily while the renovations were getting done. But the dad said no. Weeks later, the mom and the daughters flew to Sydney, Australia to visit some family. One night, the phone rang. And it was the dad. So nobody agreed to take Sonic. Okay, I'll make some more calls. Don't bother. I put her down. She's gone. It's for the best, okay? Have fun. What? The three of them just sat there in silence. They were stunned. Your dad killed Sonic. What? No. No. They were absolutely devastated. That dad is the absolute worst. And, rest in peace, Sonic. This kid's a diabolical genius. There was this kid at one school named Theo, and he had a connect at the front office. Bada bing, bada booty. What? Now, his school's lost and found was always stacked. People lose stuff constantly. Phones, AirPods, expensive jackets, you name it. So, come here. Here's how it worked. His friend at the office would text him whenever something good came in. Theo would swing by, take whatever it was, and just walk out with it. Nobody questioned it because he was always hanging around the office anyway. But here's the genius part. His connect at the office, the person that let him know when stuff came in, would let him know when someone came in looking for their stuff. Oh, you lost some AirPods? Yeah, I can't find them anywhere. Okay, one sec. He would then text his friend. His connect would let him know the person's name. Theo would then find them in the hallway. Hey, I hear you're looking for your AirPods. Oh my god, yeah, thanks. I found them. Okay, what? Give me $40 if you want them back. And he would charge these people if they wanted their stuff back. Not the full price, obviously. Now, Theo was pretty savage. People didn't want to mess with him, and they were so desperate to get their stuff back that they paid. If you go to the principal, I'm gonna beat you up. They paid up every single time. He did that the entire school year. Made over $1,000. School eventually figured out what he did and this kid was expelled. But by then he had already made his money and he wasn't gonna give it back. Now I normally would say, hey, gotta respect the hustle. But this one's a little shady. What do you think? For his grandpa's birthday, this kid wanted to do something special. He wanted to give his grandpa a custom phone case covered with photos of all 9 cousins. So 6 weeks before his grandpa's birthday, he texts all the cousins. So send me a recent picture of yourself so I can include you. Thanks. 2 weeks go by, no response. He reminds them again, but this time he adds a warning. If you don't send one, I'm putting a picture of my dog on there instead. Well, 3 cousins reply with, just grab one off my Instagram. Well, he doesn't. The day before the deadline, he sends out one last text. You have 24 hours or it's the dog. And they still don't say anything. So when Grandpa's party comes and he unwraps the gift, there it is. 9 photos of this dude's dog. Whoa, this is fantastic. He loved it. And these pictures of his grandson's dog, they were awesome. One picture was a dog in a sombrero. The next one, he was wearing a chicken costume. There was one of the dog in a pumpkin patch. Just these really fun, awesome pictures. Well, the cousins are embarrassed, and the cousins' parents are furious. They're like, you did this on purpose. You are petty. But Grandpa, he thinks it's hilarious. Best phone case I've ever had. And that's awesome. This is messed up, so a group of friends were invited to their classmate's house. Guys, dinner at my house tonight. Be there. And this kid's parents were there. They're polite, they're well-spoken, just good people. For dinner, they eat homemade pasta. They're laughing about classes, midterms, teachers. A normal, fun night. When dinner's over, everybody offers to help. Yo, let me help clean the table off, guys. Yeah, I can do dishes too. But the friend's like, no, don't. My parents will do it. Don't worry about it. They just laugh. But then they're like, wait, is he serious? His parents start doing the dishes, cleaning off the entire table, while their kid is just flipping through his phone. Later on, they move to the living room. They're all just chatting. The dad comes in and begins talking to one of the other kids. So you work in foreign policy? Yeah, and then in my free time I do a lot of traveling. I have an art studio in my garage. Dude, you are so cool. This kid's having a great conversation with his friend's dad. Then out of nowhere, this friend says, "Come on, Dad, shut up. Nobody cares about your boring job crap. Please leave." The whole room freezes, like, what is going on? The dad's face drops, and then he says, "Hey, come on, man. Don't talk to me like that in front of your friends. It's disrespectful. Go away." After that, nobody talks. His friends just grab their stuff and they begin walking out the door. "Hey, where are you guys going?" "We're leaving, man. Your parents are great. This whole thing is just weird." "Fine, leave." And on the ride home, all they can talk about was how disrespectful this kid is, and nobody ever hung out with him ever again. This is absolutely crazy. So there's this one freshman in high school, and his parents are out of town for the week. Well, instead of playing Xbox every day after school, he does something absolutely insane. He builds an actual wrestling ring in his backyard. I'm talking wood frame, ropes, the whole thing. And at school, he starts telling people, "Every day after school, my house, wrestling matches, $2 to get in." And for the first few days after school, it's just a couple of kids messing around. But then it started getting serious. One kid begins managing fighters and training them. Another's making poster for the big fight on Friday. People are putting money down. They're making actual bets, and these fighters are training all week. Well, by Thursday and Friday, it's not just this backyard thing anymore. Half the school is showing up. There's bets being placed, referees with whistles. It's absolutely insane. Well, finally Friday is the big fight, and it is beautiful. Until this kid's dad comes home and sees what's going on. "What the heck is going on here? Oh my God!" And the whole thing was shut down instantly. But those who went to that school never forgot the week of backyard wrestling. That's kind of crazy. This kid's not all there. I'm thirsty. But he wanted to focus really hard on this spelling test. He didn't want to be distracted by taking a sip of water or asking to go get some. So this is his brilliant idea. He went to the water fountain before class. He got a very big gulp of water and left it in his mouth. He heard that this is what the squirrels do. They put nuts in their mouth and they save them for later. Well, that was his idea, but with water. So now he's sitting in class. The teacher's naming the words, and he's writing the spelling down with a bunch of water in his mouth. "All right, class, your next word is fortitude." His plan was to take small, tiny gulps throughout the test, so he never went thirsty. Well, about 2 minutes into the test, his cheeks give way, and a bunch of water just falls right on his desk. The test and the desk were soaked. Water was now spilling on the floor, and other kids noticed. The teacher walks over. "Why is there a bunch of water on your desk and the floor?" The kid didn't know how to respond, so he just looks her in the eyes and said, "I have no idea." The teacher was so confused by that answer that she just walked away. No more questions were asked. He failed that spelling test. What? This is so freaking cool. So it was fall, and a couple kids, they decide to make a backyard carnival. Obviously, it was nothing official. Just some old toys, a plastic table, and whatever junk they could find. One kid stacked some soup cans on a chair. Knock them down, you win a prize. The other kid taped a bucket to the fence. 3 throws for 1 quarter. But then they got creative. Somebody dragged over a busted wagon and tied it to a bike. And suddenly it was a roller coaster. "You ready, bro? Get in." "I'm in, man. Let's go." "All right." This is awesome. Another kid tied a tire to a tree branch, and there you had it, a swing. They did it just for them at first, like a fun way to spend the afternoon. But then kids from the block started to show up. "Yo, what is this?" "It's a carnival, bro. Come on." By the end of the day, the entire backyard was packed, and a ton of kids from the neighborhood were bringing their own stuff over. It was insane. Candy, prizes, homemade rides. Parents were even showing up, like, what the heck is happening back here? But they loved it. They thought it was super creative. It wasn't professional. It wasn't safe. But for that one day, that backyard was a freaking carnival, baby. And that's awesome. So every day during class, she made her students sit in a circle, and they had to confess something they felt guilty about. It was called the guilt circle. She said it helped build trust, but it felt more like public humiliation. Every morning, right after the bell rang, one by one, share something you regret, something you're hiding, a dark secret. And if you really couldn't think of anything, she would say, "That's fine, but you're going twice tomorrow." It would be stuff like, "I ate my sister's Halloween candy. I cheated on a vocab quiz." But after a while, that wasn't good enough for her. She wanted them to go deeper. "I spread a horrible rumor about my friend. I took money from my mom's purse." And she loved it. "Oh, why do you think you did that? Do you think she knows?" "No, Day after day, week after week, this is how things went down. Until one day a kid stood up and said, "You know what, Mrs. Keller? You should feel guilty. You make us say this stuff in front of you and all of our classmates, and then I bet you go laugh about it in the teacher's lounge." The whole room froze. She didn't say anything. And I guess that was all it took, because the next day, the guilt circle stopped. For real though, that is super messed up and completely unacceptable. This is getting out of hand. Before first period, everything was fine. But the second first period was over, it happened. Bro, no way. Every school water fountain was filled with salsa. Not one, not two, every single water fountain in the building. And here's the frickin' thing. Written on the wall above the water fountain in very thick Sharpie was 6-7. And obviously, as you can imagine, everybody went crazy. Yo, whoever did this was insane. Yo, but what does it mean? Teachers are scrambling, the students are losing, and the custodians are working extra hard to clean this up. And by the end of second period, everything is clean. Well, the school's like, "We need to figure out who did this." So after school that day, they checked the cameras. A hooded kid wearing a face mask. He moves quick. He's got tons of jars of salsa in his backpack, and he's just dumping them in every single water fountain and scooting away. Then he slips into the theater hallway, the one with no cameras, and he vanishes. They don't see him again. Nobody gets identified. Nobody confesses. Everybody's talking about it, but nobody's claiming it. And that's when it starts. Kids begin showing up to school with jars of salsa in their backpacks, and every single salsa jar has 6-7 written on the lid. Before you know it, it's a full-blown culture. Who's got the rare stuff that nobody's seen before? Yo, yours looks different. Yeah, my uncle sent it to me from Mexico City. People are trading, people are hoarding jars in their lockers. The school eventually tries to ban salsa. I can't believe I'm saying this, but salsa jars are banned. But that didn't stop anybody. People kept bringing their 6-7 salsa jars to school. Apparently, it has now calmed down a little bit, but I guess the school is still scrambling to stop all of this madness. That is insane. All right, students, dodgeball. 3, 2, 1, go. It was gym class and the kids were playing dodgeball, so like a major W. Well, this kid, Jay, was playing just like everybody else. Two groups were lined up on each side of the gym, and the dodgeballs were right on the middle line. 3, 2, 1, go. And they all run for the dodgeballs and then step back, and people begin throwing them. Well, Jay grabbed one and he launched it. But it accidentally smacked this girl in the face. I mean, that's the game, right? Dodgeball. You try to hit people, then they're out. Well, this girl was kind of one of the popular girls. She was also super dramatic. Well, she starts crying. And the gym teacher runs over. "Oh my God, are you okay? No, go sit down. Jay, come here." "What? Are you kidding me? You're out of line." "What do you mean? We're literally playing dodgeball." "Office, now." So he goes to the office, and he gets written up. People started whispering that Jay hit a girl. He tried to explain, but nobody cared. "No, guys, we were playing dodgeball. That's what we're supposed to do." And he became that kid, and he never played dodgeball again. But guys, that makes no frickin' sense. That's what you do, right? That's dodgeball. I don't know. That's nuts. At this one school, there was a day called the Polar Express Day. It's where the elementary kids would wear their pajamas to school, they would watch Polar Express at the end of the day, and then the buses would take them home. It's everybody's favorite day. Everyone's all cozy, there's snacks. Polar Express is an awesome movie. Well, this one year, during the movie, nobody noticed that the snow was coming down, and it was piling up outside. All right, kids, movie's over. Let's open the blinds and... oh. It's snowing! And it was snowing a lot. Well, school's over, and the buses are delayed. It takes about 30 minutes for these buses to show up to the school. Well, this group of kids gets on their bus, but it wasn't their normal bus driver. It was a substitute bus driver. And the problem is, for some reason, this bus driver had no idea where he was going. I think this is the right neighborhood, right? No! Where are you taking us?" The bus driver didn't know what to do, so he stopped at a freaking gas station. "Okay, guys, I'm just gonna pull over here for a second. There's a man at my window." "Hey, kid, want a free animal?" "What?" Then they stop at a random parking lot. One kid has to call his parents so they can give him directions. "Mom, we're lost. Talk to the bus driver." "Hi." The mom tries to give him directions. It didn't really work that well. So he drives the bus with all the kids in it back to the bus depot. Carl, what? "I need you to take these kids home, man. I have no idea what I'm doing." "What do you mean?" There's still kids in that bus. Help us. So they switch bus drivers, and this bus driver gets them home safely. But by that time, it was around 7 p.m. That's a crazy day. Behind the stage in the auditorium, there was this old supply closet. Small, dark, the door was kind of hidden. Nobody ever used it. But this one high school junior, he finds it. He cleans it up and he starts bringing stuff in. He puts cushions on the floor, extra pillows, a lamp from his house, and he had this nice big blanket that had cats on it. At first, it's just for him. He's got a second period independent study, and he starts taking full-on naps in there. But eventually, he tells 2 of his friends. Then a couple seniors hear about it, and people start asking. He turns this cushiony nap room into a rental. $10 gets you that room for an entire period. One person at a time, quiet, clean, no stress. And here's the genius part. He would set up guards. A kid who would sit by in a folding chair, pretending to read lines. But really, this person's just there to keep an eye on things, make sure the person doesn't get disturbed in the nap room, and make sure that teachers don't come by looking around. And they rotate guard duty based on who had the period free. It's a whole system, and nobody ever gets caught. This kid ran a genius business. It happened in high school, so this kid's older brother had just graduated, and he was working full-time at a pizza place across town. And every day, there were always leftover pizzas. Messed up orders that nobody picked up, stuff like that. So one day, the brother texts him around lunchtime and says, "Yo, we got an extra pepperoni and veggie. Want me to bring it to you, man, for lunch?" And he's like, heck yeah. So his brother comes and gives him these pizzas at lunchtime, and by the next period, he had sold 6 slices for $3 a piece. And this made him feel good. They loved the pizza, and he made some money. Now, this is not an everyday thing. It was only when there was extras. But that's what made it special. You never knew when it was gonna happen. Some days it would hit during 4th period. Some days there wasn't pizza at all. One time he sold 2 large sausage pizzas to the entire chess team. Another time he walked into drama rehearsal with a Hawaiian pizza and left with $19. It was this really cool little system that this kid and his brother had. And by spring, he's basically making like minimum wage for the amount of work he's putting in. And he never spent a dime on anything, so everything he made was pure profit. The awesome part is he ran this business with no ingredients, no oven, no store, just leftovers, a cool brother, and a little hustle. You gotta respect that. When this kid was 5, his parents convinced him that if he didn't do chores or he didn't help them around the house, the lazy monster would get him and he would die. It's true. Just straight up death. So he goes into survival mode. Every day, whenever he has free time, he's sweeping, dusting, reorganizing, folding laundry, and his parents loved it. They're sitting there chilling and their 6-year-old kid is doing the house chores. And this happens for years. Years later, he's 11 now, tells his friends about the lazy monster. Yeah, I can't hang out because I gotta go wash the bathroom, otherwise the lazy monster is gonna get me. His friends are like, what? He explains more. Then his friends say, dude, that's actually crazy that you believe that. Parents are tricking you, dude. And it clicked. His entire worldview collapses, and he immediately feels like he wasted years of his life. He storms home and he demands his parents tell him why they did this. And all they could say was, you'll get over it. That's definitely not okay. One of my videos changed this kid's life. I don't know about all that, but it actually inspired him, he said. So he watched one of my stories about one of these businesses that kids ran in their school. And that's when it hit him. You know what? I could run a hustle too. And he did. He started small with gum and stickers. That week he made $90. His next move, he sold Venom energy drinks. And in just 2 weeks, he made $200. And these wins just kept building his confidence. After that, he decided he was gonna step up a lot. He was gonna make his own website and sell his own streetwear clothing brand. He called it Hype District, and he actually has a website. If you want to check it out, just Google Hype District Canva, and you can see it for yourself. And my friends, this is what happens when you respect the hustle. Christmas break had just started, and this one kid in the neighborhood had a huge yard. His backyard was long, and at the end of it, there was this hill that was pretty big. Well, then it snowed a lot. So he grabbed a shovel and he went to work. He used the snow to make his hill even bigger, and then he carved out 3 different sledding tracks. Yes! This is gonna be awesome. These tracks had barriers, even jumps. When he was done, he strung Christmas lights around the yard. And he set up speakers blasting holiday music. And pretty soon, all the kids in the neighborhood noticed this. And they all wanted to have some fun. Alright, I'm charging $5 to get in, but that includes a sled, Christmas music, and free hot chocolate. I'm in. And that night, the yard looked like a festival. A line of kids from the neighborhood, cash in hand, everybody in snowsuits, sleds sliding down the hill, and Christmas music blasting. Even the parents were there, all hanging out with each other. This is actually pretty cool. I can't believe the kids did this. I know, right? It was a great night, and eventually everybody went home. But that kid used the money he made that night to buy his entire family Christmas gifts, and that is beautiful. Here's what happens when your coach smashes your phone. This school's basketball coach was pretty intense. All right, huddle up, everybody. Time for team talk. It was one day after practice, and everybody was huddled up by the coach for like a regroup thing. But this kid named Johnny was on his phone. Hey, Johnny, come on, man. This is team huddle. Give me your phone right now. Johnny hands it over, thinking he's just going to get a lecture. Fine. Coach takes the phone, walks straight into the equipment room, and slams the door. And then everybody hears it. The sound of smashing, cracking, screaming from the coach. Johnny's stomach drops. His phone was brand new. His parents saved up for 3 months to get it for him for his birthday. He's shaking. He's almost crying. The coach walks back out, holding a mangled piece of metal and glass. Here's what happens when you're not paying attention, kid. Johnny notices something immediately. The mangled phone was way too light. He flips it over and realizes it's not even real. It's a dummy phone from the school drama department. Your real phone's in my office. Maybe now you'll lock in during team time, okay? From that day on, Johnny left his phone far away in the locker during practice. Dude, that coach is kinda awesome. Every year this school had a field day. No classes, just games outside. Tug-of-war, relay races, popsicles at the end. It was everyone's favorite day. Well, this one year, everything started off perfect. Field day starting off perfect. Sunshine, kids in their colors, music blasting. But by lunch, storm clouds roll in. And teachers tried to squeeze in the last of the events before it starts to pour. Okay, one more race and then inside. Then, boom. Thunder cracks. Rain starts pouring, the field turns to mud instantly. Well, the problem? The school locked every single side door because they wanted to funnel all the kids in and out of the main entrance. Well, the issue is the field that they were playing in was behind the school. So now hundreds of kids are slipping, sprinting, covered in mud. I lost my shoe. I can't even see. Where are my glasses? By the time they got back inside, everything was soaked. Mud everywhere. And the school day ended with students washing the mud off themselves in the bathroom and the janitors drying them down with leaf blowers. That's actually hilarious. This kid had terrible handwriting. Like, teachers would sigh whenever they saw his papers. Good Lord! So when this kid's class had to turn in a handwritten essay, he decided he was gonna actually try. I'm gonna actually try. So the night before it was due, he sat down. He had his pencil there and he was ready to get to work. He took his time. If a word was sloppy, he erased it. And he did it again. Slowed the letters down. He was doing a really good job. The next day, he turned it in proud. It wasn't perfect, but it was way, way better than how he usually writes. Well, get this. The teacher looks at it and goes, whose handwriting is this? Mine. You proud of me? No, your handwriting has never looked like this. Somebody wrote this for you. Who did it? I promise you, I wrote it. No, you didn't. This is cheating. Cheating? No, it's handwriting. I worked hard to make my handwriting better. So now you're getting smart with me. All right, I'm writing you up. She drags him into the hallway. She's lecturing him about academic honesty. He tries to say, listen, I practiced. You told me to practice. She doesn't believe him. She calls home. The mom shows up. She knows how hard her son worked on this. She's furious. Okay, so my son is in trouble because he tried. He worked on his handwriting and now he's getting written up. Are you out of your mind? It doesn't make sense. The handwriting progress was too fast. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. They bring in the principal and they make this kid write a paragraph in front of them to prove that he actually did write this essay. He sits down, he writes it. It took him a long time, but he did it. It was the same improved handwriting. The principal looks at the teacher. You owe him an apology. Teacher, red-faced, mumbling. I'm sorry for accusing you. Sure. They left. He gets an A on the paper and she never confronts him about anything ever again. After that year, she retired. Picture this. First day of high school, a new teacher walks in. Cool looking guy with the mustache. He starts roll call. Billy, here. Carl, I have milk in my backpack. Steven, here. You must be the kid that still sleeps in that blue race car bed, huh? What? The kid was confused because he actually did sleep in a blue race car bed. So he started thinking that this guy's a total creep, but he forgot about him. Maybe it was a lucky guess. Well, as days go on, there were more and more things this teacher was saying. How's Rufus, Steven? Has he still got that stomach infection? How did you know that? This reminds me of when your mom was talking about the cat and when he ate the light bulb. Hey, Steven, how was that Twinkie last night? I know you snuck one from the cabinet. Was it 2 a.m.? 2 a.m. Twinkie? Kid's absolutely freaked out. The next day he's in class, scared of what he's gonna say today, when all of a sudden, his dad comes out. Hey, how we doing? Johnny. Steven, we got you. Yeah, we got you, son. What? Turns out this kid's dad and the new teacher go to the same gym, and one day they got to talking, and the dad's like, oh, you're starting at Gilchrist teaching this year, huh? Yeah, 5th grade. Oh, my son's in 5th grade. Oh, nice. What's his name? His name's Steven. He's in your class? I have a great idea. It was all an elaborate prank. Kid was definitely relieved, but he's not too happy that now all of his classmates know that he still sleeps in a blue race car bed. This kid missed English class, first period, and he shows up to second period like nothing happened. People were wondering where he was. One of his friends leans in and asked, yo, why'd you miss English class? We turned in our essays today. And the kid just goes, oh, my cow was giving birth. Oh. He says it like it's the most normal thing ever. He still had mud on his boots, there was like hay coming out of his pockets, and he smelled a little weird. It was probably from that cow birth. People just nodded, like, okay, yeah, farm kid stuff. Okay. And so what if he missed English, you know? His essay wasn't gonna win any awards at the state fair anyway. But his cow might. Huh? Okay. This is my house and my rules. This one dad ran his house like a frickin' business. Instead of allowance, there was a chore system. Every Sunday night, he'd post a list on the fridge. Vacuuming, dishes, mowing, even stuff like wiping down the baseboards. Alright kids, this is your work week. Everything must be done by Friday. And here's the catch. If something wasn't done, or it was done poorly, you would owe him $5. And no, they weren't losing allowance. They didn't get an allowance. They would actually owe him $5. So Friday after work, he would come into the house. He had a clipboard, and he would check every single thing that he put on the chore list. The bedroom trash can was still full. There was grass clippings all over the yard. That's $10 total. Didn't matter if you had a job or not. If you were in debt that Friday night, you had the weekend to figure it out, or else. One of his kids ended up mowing 3 neighbors' yards. Another one was begging for shifts at the local ice cream shop. Hey, can I please work a few hours today? Who are you? And if you didn't pay him by Sunday night, he would start taking stuff. Game controllers, headphones, even his kids' bikes. There was no limit. And that has to be the craziest thing I've heard in a long time. Most teachers use seating charts to help keep the peace, but Mr. Miller used his in a different way. For the first month, Miller studied the room. He figured out exactly who was best friends and who couldn't stand each other. Then he released a mandatory seating chart. Okay, everybody, this seating chart is law, unless somebody has an offer. That's when he introduced the daily waiver. For the price of a premium snack and a cold drink, one student per day could buy their way into the seat right next to their friend. But that's the catch. He only did 1 trade per class. And it was actually kind of fun. The students loved this. Every morning it was like an auction. So he has to pick out the best of the snacks. I have Takis and a Capri Sun. Nah. I have milk and tuna. No, I got Airhead sour strips and an Orange Crush. Deal. And that's what he did the entire year. The kids thought it was pretty awesome, so in turn, they respected him, and the behavior was pretty good. The principal thought he was a genius, and Mr. Miller always had the best snacks. A substitute teacher walks into class. She's taking attendance, butchering every single name. She gets through everything, but then someone's like, miss, you forgot about Denise. Oh, Denise, yeah, she's here. Right there. And the kid points to an empty desk. The substitute's like, I don't see anybody there. But then another student's like, she's just very quiet. But yeah, she's here, see? Okay. The sub then manually put in Denise's name on the sheet and wrote next to it, here. 10 minutes later, the substitute's handing out papers. Someone says, hey miss, don't forget to give Denise one. And the sub does. Oh, you're right. My bad. Here you go, Denise. Miss, she also needs a pencil. Oh, okay, here, Denise. So now, obviously, no one is sitting at that desk, but this teacher is going along with it? Or maybe she's actually believing that someone is there, but she just can't see them? By the end of class, she's talking to this empty desk like it's a real person. Okay, does everyone understand today's lesson? Denise, how about you? Yeah, she gets it, miss. And on the sub sheet to turn into the teacher, the substitute wrote, Denise was quiet today. but she completed all her work. Overall, class was great. The next day, the real teacher comes back and reads the notes. Class, who the heck is Denise? And everyone burst out laughing. I bet they had that sub thinking she was going crazy. They respected Denise though, huh? This kid's an evil genius. At this school at the end of the year, they had a kindness award. The person who would win this kindness award would be given a $50 Dairy Queen gift card, 5 homework passes, and your picture on the wall of the main office. Well, the thing is, the person who won was voted on by a random committee of teachers. 5 teachers, different every year. So 2 months before the vote, this kid hatches a plan. He finds out who's on the committee. 1, 2, 3, 4, and Mrs. Stevens is the last one. Perfect. Once he found out, he starts doing the most calculated acts of kindness in front of each and every one of the teachers on the committee. For one teacher, he holds the door open for her every single morning. Ah, yes, good morning, Mrs. Stevens. Oh, how nice. Good morning, good morning. That's right, I'm nice. Another teacher, he brings in a plant labeled for your mental health and hands it to her. Here you go, Mrs. Johnson. I thought you would like this. Oh my God, I love plants. How kind are you? That's right, I'm kind. What was that? Nothing. Don't forget to water it. Bye. One time during lunch, he stands on a table and gives a speech about gratitude. And then after that, he walks around the cafeteria picking up trash, helping the janitors. It wasn't even subtle. One time, he handed a granola bar to one of the teachers and straight up said, "Here you go, for kindness." Well, aren't you just a nice student? And at the end of the year, he frickin' wins, and it's by a landslide. And that day, after school, he took that $50 Dairy Queen gift card and he spent it all on himself. Needless to say, he had a terrible stomachache the next day. But hey, you gotta respect the hustle. You ever wonder why schools randomly ban, like, hot Cheetos or Takis? There's always a reason, and at this one school, that reason was, let's call him Marcus, the 7th grade snack kingpin. Marcus had snacks. He was running an entire operation. A backpack loaded like a frickin' vending machine. Takis, Sour Patch, mini Gatorades, all marked up 200%, and people bought them. Business was absolutely booming. And it wasn't just him in this operation. He had runners. Kids in different grades moving products between different classes. He would even bring backup hoodies to school. He would change them throughout the day, so security cameras would think it's different people doing different things. He made enough money in 3 months to buy 2 pairs of brand new Jordans. Never used Venmo, only cash. But here's how he got caught. One of his runners sold Capri Sun to a diabetic kid and told him it was sugar-free, which is absolutely messed up. The kid's blood sugar spiked, the nurses got involved. The school asked him where he got it from, and this kid spilled. The entire operation crumbled. Marcus was suspended for 1 week. School banned all sorts of snacks. After that, it was like this business operation never existed. But if you went into the boys' bathroom, in stall number 3, written in small letters on the door, was the snack prices. You gotta respect the hustle. This class did not want to take this test, so they faked a police phone call. Senior year was advanced chemistry. Only 13 students in this class. It's test day. Everybody's stressed, so they come up with a plan. Before the test starts, the valedictorian raises his hand. Can I go to the bathroom really quick, please? Boom, he's allowed to go. Instead of the bathroom, he goes to this old private stairwell, and he calls the front office. Hi, this is Officer Johnson from the police department. I need to talk to the chemistry teacher, please. The front office panics, calls the teacher down. Oh, okay. Be back, students. The teacher grabs the keys, leaves the room. The second he's gone, the class moves around like a pit crew. They blow up balloons, they pull out a grocery store birthday cake, streamers, party hats on everybody. Full birthday setup in under 2 minutes. Meanwhile, in the office, hello, blah, 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 Mickey Mouse, and he sprints back to the classroom. The teacher then walks back into the classroom. They all shout, surprise, happy birthday. The teacher is then like, that is so nice, but it's not my birthday. But it didn't matter. The cake gets cut, everyone eats it, and the test gets postponed 1 week. That is absolutely brilliant. This kid ran a pop-up shop in his school. Not every day, not on a schedule, just randomly. 1 week he would show up with bags of candy. Next week he would have a pair of shoes he outgrew and some Pokemon cards. 1 week he had a Bluetooth speaker, 2 Jimmy John subs he didn't eat that he got the day before, a Labubu, a brand new pencil case, and king-size Kit Kat bars. And whenever he decided, today's the day, his friends knew the drill. Their job was to take the printed out sheets and to paste them all around the school. These posters would say stuff like, pop-up store, band hallway, 12 12:15 p.m. No items, no prices, it's just a mystery, so people would show up, and they would wonder what he had that day. He'd open his backpack, he would lay everything out on the floor in front of him, like a frickin' street vendor, and he would just begin selling these things. Candy gone, shoes sold, Labubus flying off the shelf. When the inventory ran out, he would pack up and go back to class or something. He would tear the posters down, and he would disappear until the next random day that he felt like doing this. He made $350 in 3 weeks, until the principal finally connected the dots, saw the poster one day, went to the meeting spot, and shut this all down for good. But hey, you gotta respect the hustle. One Saturday morning, this kid's at a grocery store with his mom. They shop a bit, and now they're in the cashier line. Oh, sweetie, I forgot to get a gallon of milk. Can you go get one for me, please? Sure, Mom. It's a simple job, so he goes, he gets the milk, and he's jogging back to the cashier. Well, right when he gets there, he trips, the jug falls out of his hand, and the milk spills everywhere. Under carts, onto shoes, people are so mad, he has no idea how to respond to this. This kid has anxiety. So what he does is he gets down on all fours, and he tries to scoop it up. But why would that work? He has nowhere to put it. Then this kid freaks out, and he tries to lick it off the floor like he's a frickin' house cat. His mom was so stunned, she couldn't even speak. Finally, this old guy came over. He had a mop. Kid, move! I'll clean the milk. Mom was so embarrassed, she didn't even buy anything. She left all of her items at the belt, and she left the store with her kid. That's wild. At this middle school, this gym class was brutal. Every single day, mile runs, rain or shine. No basketball, no dodgeball, just running. So when this kid showed up in a cast, people were jealous. No gym for him for like a month and a half. Eventually, he healed. But when the doctors took his cast off, they gave it back to him. And that gave him a brilliant idea. I have a brilliant idea. He reinforced the inside of the cast with foam, rewrapped parts of the outside with bandage tape, and kept the cast in a sling. Then he began making an offer to students. $50 a month. No gym, no questions asked. So what, I gave you the money, you give me the cast, and I wear it for a month, and then I don't have to do gym? That's right, my furry little friend. What? Nothing. And it worked. Kids who paid would get the cast, put it on, and be limping around school, holding their arm like it hurt. They could even pay extra, and this kid would forge doctor's notes for them. Well, when they walked into gym class with his cast on, the gym teacher asked no questions. They were just gonna sit out, and that was that. Well, demand got so high, the wait list was pretty long. He even had people Venmoing him early to reserve a spot. Well, some teachers were starting to get skeptical about why so many kids were breaking their left arm, but it wasn't that big of a deal yet. And soon enough, this entire business fell apart. One of the kids who rented this cast for a month let his friend borrow it for his gym period. I don't want to do gym today, man. Bro, it's fine. Take this. I rented it. It's mine for the month anyway. Here, put it on. Nice. Super dumb move. So third period, one kid walks into gym class with the cast on. Then fourth period, a completely different kid walks in with the same cast on to gym class. The gym teacher clocked it immediately. They both got sent to the office. They snitched on the kid who ran this business, and boom, everything was shut down. Kind of a brilliant idea, but maybe it could have been executed better, but still, you gotta respect the hustle. In 8th grade, there was a social studies teacher that never gave homework. Like ever. And she was universally loved for it. Then one random Tuesday, she assigns the class homework. And the next day, nobody turned it in. Not one person. And she just detonates. Well, I bet you all did your math homework last night, didn't you? Because everyone respects math. Who cares about social studies? Everyone's like, what the heck is going on? Then, without warning, she steps on a desk, grabs the overhead projector, tears it down, and slams it on the floor. She grabs her keys, walks out the door, and she never returns for the rest of the school year. That's absolute nuts. This kid got blamed for something he didn't do. This one day at this one high school, during their free period, a kid was eating lunch outside by the football field, while a couple of students were kicking and throwing around a football. This kid, let's call him Steven, was sitting nearby. He wasn't playing, he was just eating his lunch. Suddenly, go long! Crash. One of the football players accidentally threw the football at the school window and it shattered. A teacher comes sprinting out of the building. Hey yo, who threw that? Everyone's frozen. Then one kid pointed to Steven. It was him. He kicked it. What? I wasn't even playing. But the teacher was already on the walkie-talkie. We got a broken window. Student responsible has been identified. Come with me. Steven is dragged to the office. They pull up security footage, but the camera angle cuts off right before the area where Steven was eating and they were playing, so it was useless. So, they just take the other kid's word for it. Steven gets 2 days of in-school suspension, and he has to pay $147 to fix the window. And the worst part? 2 weeks later, the kid that blamed him brags about it in the locker room. Yeah, I just didn't want to get in trouble, and Steven was sitting there anyway. It was perfect. One kid heard it, went to the office to tell the principal. You'd think they would apologize, right? Nope. They just said, yeah, well, the case has already been handled. It's done, so nothing to do about it now. But thanks for letting me know, man. And that's the dumbest reason I've seen anybody get into trouble ever. Justice for Steven, man. That ain't right. So one day in 8th grade, the school had a fire drill. Pretty normal, the alarm goes off, and the teacher lines everybody up. But this one kid, he had a plan. I have a plan. See, earlier that week, the teacher said something that gave him an idea. If there's ever a fire class, you should only take the essentials, okay? So, while everyone walked out with nothing, this kid sprinted out carrying his entire desk, chair included. He was full speed hauling it through the hallway. Hey, why are you taking your desk? Young man, what are you doing? And he just yelled back, it's an essential! And then outside, while the whole school stood in the parking lot, he sat down at his desk, like it was a normal school day. He started pulling out his notebooks and he was taking fake notes. The kid was a real comedian. Everyone was dying of laughter. Teachers were too confused to even yell at him. And then when the principal finally came over and asked, hi, what are you doing? He just shrugged and said, I thought we were evacuating, so I evacuated my education. Okay. And after that, every single fire drill, someone tried to take something bigger out with them. It became this crazy thing that people were doing, until one day the principal got on the intercom and begged. During fire drills, students, please, stop taking the furniture outside with you. Please. Honestly, that kid's a legend. So this one high school had a basement. Students didn't really know it existed. It was used for maintenance, storage, stuff like that. And it was always locked. Well, one day, this kid, let's call him Jake, was wandering around the school during his free period when he noticed the door to the basement was kind of ajar. The janitor forgot to lock it, so he goes down there. It was a huge, dusty storage room. Old desks, broken chairs, random junk everywhere. But in the middle of the room, there was this tiny metal box that caught his attention. What is that? So he opens it. Inside the box was a single envelope. He picked it up, felt something inside, and he looked. And what he found in there would make his stomach drop. Oh my God. Inside the envelope was an old student ID. Photo was faded. The name was a name he did not recognize, and the date on it, 1986. Underneath the ID was a set of car keys, and underneath the car keys, a newspaper clipping. The headline, high school senior still missing, car found abandoned in school parking lot. He slammed the box shut and ran the heck up the stairs. He was getting out of there. He tried telling a teacher what he saw. The teacher was kind of curious, so she went to the basement door, but it was locked. The janitor walks up. Hi, can I help you? Yeah, one of my students was curious about something in here. Do you mind if I come down here and take a look? Looking for like a metal box or something? Oh, sure. Yeah. She goes down there, but there wasn't a metal box to be found anywhere. She thanks the janitor, goes back upstairs, and tells the student, I don't know what you saw, but there's nothing down there right now, so it must have been your imagination or something. Go to class. But deep down, he knows he came across something very sinister that day. This woman had been dating this guy for a few months, and the first time she stayed over at his house, she wanted to take a shower in the morning. But she noticed there wasn't any towels in the bathroom.
Steven?
Yeah, what's up?
There's no towels in here. Can I have a towel, please?
Oh, yeah, sure, 1 second. Here.
Thanks.
She noticed that the towel he gave her was obviously super dirty, and it smelled horribly.
Steven!
Yeah, what's up?
Can I have a clean towel, please? This one's dirty.
What do you mean? No, that's clean.
It's definitely dirty. It's fine, though. Just get me a new towel.
Okay, fine. Here.
Thank you. Dude, this one's dirty, too. Did you wash these?
What are you talking about? You don't need to wash towels. Every time you shower, they clean themselves because they're getting wet. It's like the same thing as a washing machine.
So you never wash your towels?
Never. My mom did the same thing.
What? That is nasty. That is nasty. This is not gonna work. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go shower at my own place.
This teacher straight up embarrassed herself. Back in 3rd grade, this teacher was doing a lesson on animals. So, can anybody name me a mammal? This one kid, we'll call him Mason, raised his hand excitedly. Oh, a platypus! The teacher kind of frowned. No, sweetie, mammals don't lay eggs, and platypuses lay eggs. It's a bird. You are wrong. Mason looked confused, but the platypus is a mammal. Don't you argue with me, it's unbecoming. I'm not arguing, now you're being disrespectful. Mason just sat there quietly. But that night, he did some work of his own. The next day, Mason came into school with printouts, scientific articles, diagrams, highlighted textbook pages. This kid had evidence. He was ready to prove this teacher wrong. So in class, he walked right up to her desk, and in front of the entire class, he said, "Excuse me? Just so you know, the platypus is a mammal. Look, it lays eggs, but it still makes milk, and that's what makes it a mammal." I've been teaching for 15 years. I think, yeah, and you've been wrong for every single one of them. Boom. Class exploded. At this point, the teacher was fuming. "Go to the office now." But when he explained what happened to the principal, even the principal was like, "Yeah, man, you're right. Platypus is a mammal." And he didn't get in trouble at all. After that day, Mason never got another question wrong in that class because she never called on him again. This guy said that when he was around 7 years old, he would always wander off in stores. Target, Walmart, the mall, he'd see something he liked and he would just vanish. Well, one day, his dad was kind of sick of this, so he pulled him aside and said, "Hey son, you know what happens to kids who get lost in stores, right?" "What?" "Sometimes if their parents don't find them fast enough, the store keeps them." When this kid heard that, he was definitely starting to freak out a little bit. "What do you mean keeps them, Dad?" "If you're caught in the store looking lost, they'll snatch you up and bring you to the back room, where they'll make you fold clothes and pack boxes. See how the store's always stocked? Those are the lost kids that did that." "Are you serious?" After that, he never left his dad's side ever again. Not once. He didn't even go to the bathroom by himself until he was in middle school. He's much older now. He knows it was a lie. But even today, as he walks through stores, he still feels that pit of anxiety deep down in his stomach. But hey, at least he never got lost. He wrote all of that down in that notebook? Yeah. Holy sh! Everyone at the school knew about Eli. Not because he was loud or popular. It was just the opposite, actually. You see, Eli was just off. He wore the same hoodie every single day, carried one of those tiny spiral notebooks in his back pocket, and he was always scribbling in it during class. Like it'd be mid-lecture, he would just pause, start writing in this thing, and then he would stop, snap it closed, and stare ahead like nothing happened. Now, people assumed it was a sketchbook or he was writing stories or something, but the rumors started flying pretty quick. Some kids thought it was a hit list. Others thought he was writing creepy fan fiction. It got to a point where a teacher actually pulled him aside to ask him about it. Eli just said, "It's nothing bad, I just like to keep track of things." And for a while, that was enough, until someone found one of the notebooks. It fell out of his pocket during gym class. "Oh my god. Yo, Steven, is that what I think it is?" "Yup." And yeah, it wasn't a hit list, but it was weird. He had pages dedicated to different people. Not in a creepy way, more like stats. Stuff like, Jamie asks to borrow a pencil 3 times a week. Mr. Grant pretends he doesn't see phones on desks. Cafeteria, chicken sandwich rotation is every 6 days. It was like he was documenting the entire school. Patterns, routines, habits, everything. And the weirdest part, he was right. Everything he wrote down was dead on accurate. He had memorized the school's entire system and everybody in it. After that, people stopped making jokes. Because anytime somebody wanted to know something, like what day pizza was coming back, when Mr. Grant gave pop quizzes, what the fire drill schedule looked like, they didn't ask the office or the teachers. They asked Eli. So yeah, he wasn't a problem. He was a database. This teacher had the weirdest rule. So this kid, let's call him David. He was in middle school, and this one teacher had a lot of weird rules, but one rule stood out to be the most weird. At the end of every class, students were required to shake this teacher's hand before leaving. Every single day. It didn't matter if you were sick, your hands were sweaty, or you were holding all your books, you had to shake this teacher's hand. And now David, like a lot of others, thought that this was the dumbest rule ever. Like, why is this even a thing? Creep. Well, one day, he decided to test it. Alright, class is over, the bell rings, everyone's lining up to shake this person's hand like he's the dang president. When it got to David, he just walked right past. "Excuse me, David." "Yeah? What do you think you're doing, man?" I'm leaving, man." "Not until you follow the rule like everybody else." "I'm not shaking your hand, you weird..." The whole class goes silent. The teacher, fuming. He walks to the door and he blocks it. Well, if that's the case, you're not leaving, you weird. Now David's stuck. He can't just leave, and the entire class is watching this entire thing go down. David sighs. He slowly reaches out his hand. Fine. Goes in for a handshake. That's right. Now as their hands are about to touch, David inhales and fakes a ginormous sneeze. Spit goes all over this teacher's face. Everybody just get out of the classroom now. Just go. The next day, the rule was gone. I guess the teacher tried talking to the principal, but the principal told him that it was kind of creepy in the first place to make all your students shake your hand before leaving class. I agree. Dumbest things people got in trouble for at school. In middle school, this kid's grandma had just passed away, and it was his first day back after the funeral. This is kind of what happened. Did everyone turn their homework in? I only count 17. And there's 20 of us, so who didn't turn their homework in? I didn't. And why didn't you turn it in, Kyle? Did you even do it? You should know this. My grandma just died and I was at her funeral over the weekend. I'm sorry, but I wasn't thinking about homework. Well, that's a shame, Kyle. I'm giving you a 0 for the entire week. Are you dead, Kyle? No. Homework is more important than funerals, as long as you're alive. Well, that pissed him off, and he lost his mind. You are an absolute... My grandma just died. She was my favorite person in the entire world, and I was at her funeral over the weekend, and now you're punishing me for not doing some stupid math assignment? Screw you! I wish you died instead of my grandma. That's it! Go to the office right now. Good heavens. He explained what happened to school administration, but nobody cared. He was suspended for a week. You didn't even look at the slides? Nope. Bro, we're gonna fail! So there was this one group project in 8th grade that counted for 25% of the final grade. Like it was a serious end-of-the-year multi-slide, multi-day situation here. And this one group had 3 kids that really cared. And then there was Jeff. Jeff did nothing. Didn't come to the prep meetings, didn't contribute to the slides, didn't even open the Google Doc. All he said was, just tell me what I need to say. And they tried. They gave him a script. He didn't look at it. He didn't practice. Didn't even show up to the final rehearsal that they were doing. Fast forward to presentation day. Everyone's in their best outfits. Posters were ready. The slides were cued. And 30 seconds before their group is called, Jeff walks into class like he had just woken up. Hey, what's up, guys? The group is panicking. One kid tells him, are you kidding me right now, dude? You know what? Just stand there, okay? Don't say anything. Don't mess this up for us. They get up front. Everyone is nervous. And then out of nowhere, Jeff starts talking. No slides, no notes, just straight off the dome. Our project explores the intersection of environmental policy and youth activism, and we believe change happens locally. The teacher's face lit up. The group, they were stunned. And by the time Jeff was done, people were clapping. They clapped. They got an A+, perfect score. And as soon as they sit back down, Jeff leans over and says, I told you I'd come through. After that, nobody trusted Jeff, but everybody remembered that presentation. And even the teacher brought it up the next year. But it's crazy because with 0 prep, 0 effort, and 0 teamwork, Jeff gave the best speech in the class, and nobody could explain it.
আচ্ছা তুই যে পছন্দ করস জানাইছস
জানালায় জোড়া চোর পড়ে না পলো
সেই জন্য সাইকেলের চেনটা এখানে এসেই পড়ছে
ভাই ঠিক
কি সমস্যা? শাহরুখের ভক্তরা যে এত ভীত হয় সেটা আমি আগে বুঝতে পারি নাই। প্রেমে পড়বেন কিন্তু না মানে হ্যাঁ, আপনি শাহরুখ খানের ভক্ত না? শাহরুখের
সিনেমাতে শাহরুখ খানের বিপরীতে যেসব নায়িকার অভিনয় করে তাগর প্রেমে তো মেলাবার পড়ছে।
কথা আছে, আরো কাছে আসেন, আপনাকে কানে কানে একটা কথা বলবো।
পড়ে না পলো সন্ধ্যা আকাশ।
পায়েল,
ও আমি আরো ভাবছি তুমি শাহরুখ।
তাই হারানোর ভয়ও আছে। তবে তুই তো আমার চিনোস, আমি কি কোনো খারাপ কথা কইছি? আমি কোনো ভুল কথা গেল?
বললোই তো চেনটা ঠিক হয়ে গেছে, এখন দাঁড়িয়ে আছেন কেন? যান।
করছে।
মা, আমি সত্যিই জানি না কি হয়েছে, কেন শুলি এমন করছে।
তবু যাচ্ছি বহু দূরে পাশাপাশি।
জি স্যার।
ঠিক আছে।
জোবারে সীমাই বলা হবে কিসে গল্প।
আমি আমার মেয়েকে খুব ভালো মতো জানি, আমার মেয়ে কোনো ভুল করতে পারে না। যদি কোনো ভুল করে থাকে নেই আমার হাতে।
উপর হাত রেখে এই জীবনটা কাটিয়ে দেয়া।
তুমি কি কখনো কাউকে বল সবকিছু ঠিকঠাক তো তোমার?
ঠিকঠাক। তোমার?
তবে চলার পথে দুজনের সিদ্ধান্তকেই দুজনে গুরুত্ব দিতে হয়।
মেয়ে তো
আমার নিজের মনে হইতেছে আমি কিং বাদশা।
বেলা শেষে পেন্সিল ভাষা পেল কি?
কেমন মনমরা হইয়া থাকিস, কি হয়েছে আমার বল।
তোমার বাচ্চা
এমনি সূত্রাবো আমি জানি না।
আমার কাছে আইডিয়া আছে। জামশেদ চাচার খবরে নিয়ে গেছে মানে
উনার খেতে ঢুকছিল তাই।
আলার পুদায় পোলাপান ডাক। আমি তোমারে হারাইতে দিব না।
এবার যাও। বাচ্চা আজকে তোমার কি হয়েছে বলো তো?
আবার চুরি করছে। আজকে একদিন কি তার একদিন আমি তার কাছে টাকা এলাম আমার জমানো। কেন হ্যাঁ আমার সংসারের টাকা চুরি কইরা জমানো টাকা চুরি কইরা তুই কি করলি? এত বেলা করে ঘুমাইতে চলবো?
তুরু এত ভালো একটা স্বপ্ন দেখতেছিলাম আর আমার সং কইলা না। একদিন আইসো আমার পারফরমেন্স দেখতে আইসো, দেখো মানুষ কেমনে তালি দেয়।